Hello, everybody. It's Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. Thank you guys so much for joining me. It's time for another Tuesday tip video. Hey, in today's video, we are going to take on a really fantastic fold. This is called a napkin fold, but we're going to do something a little more creative with it. It really is a wow fold, but we're going to take this simple card and then we're going to turn it into a display stand. I'm telling you, it's like a Tuesday tip. So let's head over to my stamping table. I'll show you what the napkin fold looks like.
Check these out. This is what is called the napkin fold. It's a really fun card. When you mail it, it does go flat, so it's easy to mail. But when it comes out of the envelope, pop. And it's such a fun and festive little pop. Now, let me show you. Inside, we have a card where we can write our message. But you have an option. You could also write your message here on the back. And did you notice this? Yeah, I thought a card like this, well, it's going to be a little bit difficult to stand on its own. So I've created a simple stand for both of my cards. So these can easily be displayed. We love mantle-worthy cards. Now, origami might not be your thing, but guess what? This one is a pretty simple one. And to make it easy, there's a reason I'm called Simply Simple Stamping, because I like to keep things simple. So I have a diagram that is going to go along with my project today, and everything is laid out for you exactly when to score, what line, folding, all of that is going to be right here. Now, because this is a little bit different fold, being an origami, I have a suggestion for you. And that is to start with copy paper. So I'm going to have you start with copy paper for the first time. All right. It's always easier to do. And you know what? It's just copy paper. Now I have drawn my lines out for you. That is just for a visual. You won't need to do that. But we're going to use this as a base. And I'm going to show you how to put the card together. And then I'll show you what it's going to look like on designer series paper. Next, we're going to focus on these yellow arrows. And guys, I'm doing this here on my Simply Scored board, but we're going to put a tick mark. You can use a pen. You can just make a tick mark here with just your stylus tool at 3 inches on all 4 corners. Now that we have that, we can make our little dot here in the center. So you can see I have my tick marks here. I'm going to bring in a pen. And again, let me be very clear. These marks here in the center are not going to show. So I'm just going to put myself a little mark there. I'm going to rotate this around, line up on those tick marks. And I'm going to give myself a little mark right there. Looks like I could have gone a little bit further with this one. But again, what I want to do is I want to find the center of my paper. There's the center. So I could put a dot here, or of course, just this little plus sign is going to take care of that for me, just as long as I can see the center mark. All right, next we're going to focus on these purple lines, and we're going to need those little marks one more time. Many different ways you can do this. This is my favorite method. So I'm going to take my paper and a ruler, and I'm going to line it up here at this tick mark and this tick mark down here, and just use my stylus to draw a line. Very simple to do. I got to tell you, I actually love doing this with maybe my grid paper underneath me because I don't want to harm my table, but I've already got started. So we're going to go that method. So we'll rotate this around. We're going to do that scoring on all 4. For visual purposes, I went ahead and drew those lines on there for you. Again, just for visual. Can you see why I say start with a piece of copy paper? Kind of gives you a chance if you mess up, it's copy paper. Junk mail is a great use for this as well. All right, all of our scoring is complete. And now we're going to do some folding. So we're going to fold. First, let's start with those 1.5 inch lines, the ones that we just did on all 4 sides. These would be the red lines on your diagram. All right, we have that folded. Next, we will do this score line, which you can see is going to kind of lead you to the center. So we can do this, just making sure that all of those edges are right where they need to be. In fact, you could even leave that in place as you go around, just making sure you're getting everything nice and straight. Trust me when I say doing this first with not construction paper, this would be copy paper. It really is going to help you, and it's going to give you kind of the confidence you need to create this simple napkin fold. All right, guys, that was easy, right? We did some simple scoring and some simple folding. Okay. Now, you do see we do have some lines here. And my friends, that I'm not going to do any scoring. I'm just going to fold these to the inside, and you want to kind of keep it inside the score line. All right, just don't go too far over. These are going to be adhered down. So we're just going to kind of tuck those in. All right, are we all good? Everybody's with me. All right, opening that up. Now it's time to do the origami part. Okay, this is very simple. So I'm going to put this in a triangle shape, starting with a triangle shape. And we're going to take these 2 points. Do you see that straight line right there? We're going to bring that together. Okay, I promise you, with all that scoring going on, it really is easy. Just bring these 2 outside lines to the inside, and this will instantly fold right down. Let's do that again. On this side, we're going to bring these 2 ends to the middle, all right, to the center. That will fold right down. We'll repeat that here. Now, what are you going to do with this? You're going to save this. This is going to be a great template when you're ready to go back and create this card. But you got it, so you're good to go. Now, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to bring in my designer series paper so that you can see. So there are my 1.5 inch score lines. Here are my little triangle score lines. Kind of looks like an envelope, right? And then, of course, we're going to bring these pieces in. You've already seen me do it. Lay that flat, just like that, bringing those corners to the middle, laying that flat. All right, so now you'll have something like this. All right, just a simple little square fold. Now, remember these little ends that we tucked under? I mean, if you want, you can leave them like this. I'm going to tell you what I like to do. I like to adhere these down. I just think it kind of gives this nice little burst of the double-sided paper, a little something there on the inside. So let's go ahead and bring this all back together again. And there you go. That is the fold. That's pretty simple. Now, of course, remember, you get to decide which side of the paper you want to show. But here's what I want you to know. It's more about what's going on inside the paper than what's going on the outside. So as you're folding, be thinking about whatever side you want to be up needs to be facing you while you're doing this folding. You want to change your mind? No problem. You're just going to unfold it, and you can just repeat these score lines and just do it on the other side. So you cannot mess up, but that is all we need to do with that. Now let's create a card.
Don't forget to head over to simplysimplestamping.com or look down in the YouTube description for a direct link to today's post, because I have that free diagram for you to make the napkin fold super easy for you. Remember, when you get that download, it's also going to have the measurements for both my cards and, of course, information on how to create that stand as well. I'd love for you to have that free download. Be sure to grab that. But now that we have the napkin fold done, let's create that stand.
You're, of course, going to use your favorite colors that are going to go along with your designer series paper. But I'm going to be using fresh freesia as my card base. The first piece here is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Here I have a 3 by 6 1/4, and I've done some scoring on that. I scored at 3/4 of an inch, 1 1/2 inches, 2 1/4, and 4 1/4. By the way, all these measurements are available in my free download, so don't worry about jotting these down. This is for the back of my card. So I've got a piece of Calypso Coral. This is a 2 by 5 1/4. I have another piece I forgot to bring in. This one is a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. Now, I also have a Parakeet Party that is 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. These are accent pieces, by the way. All right, that's what we're going to do here. This is the inside of our card. All right, this is a 2 7/8 by 5 3/4, and I've scored it at 2 7/8. And the last piece here, basic white, 1 7/8 by 5 1/8. And that, of course, is going to be for the back. This piece with all that scoring, that is going to be our stand. All right, let's put a card together. Now, at this point, we can take that fresh freesia if you want to do some stamping on the background, something, maybe some speckles, something very simple. We don't want to overwhelm because that paper is quite bold. It kind of stands alone on its own. So you could leave it plain. But you want to know what I did? I decided to emboss it. Can you see? I've got some great embossing going on there. This is with the basic embossing folders. It's a 3-pack, and I love this little kind of star look. I just thought it worked really well with my butterfly. So, you know, if we're going to dress up some cardstock, why not run it through our machine and do some little dry embossing? All right, I have that. Let's go ahead and take these 2 pieces, the Calypso Coral and the Parakeet Party. I'm going to adhere those together. And now we're going to adhere that to our card base. So just right here, you're going to center it up from top to bottom and side to side. We have that. We're going to add this at the end, all right, because it's a little putsy to kind of mess with right now. So let me set this over here and let's create the stand. So remember, we did some scoring here. And so with our bone folder, we're just going to accordion fold these lines, all right? So just give those, like I said, it's a nice accordion. If you can kind of see, that's how it's going to go together. It's definitely going to look like a little stand, all right? Now we are going to adhere these pieces together, all right? That's probably pretty self-explanatory, but let's add some adhesive here so that these pieces can come together. Now let's take our card base and we're going to add our stand here to the back. I personally like to put the adhesive on the side that has the that little 1/2-inch area in the back, so it's just not seen quite as much. Use plenty of adhesive. Remember, this is a stand. We want it to be nice and strong, so this is not the place to get skimpy with that adhesive. And friends, we're going to center it up from side to side and place that stand right here at the edge of our cardstock. That looks pretty centered. We're going to give that a really nice back rub. The stand is done. I mean, easy, easy. All right, let's do some stamping. How about that? For my card, I'm going to use the Best Butterflies stamp set. It was very bold, and I thought, of course, it worked perfectly with the Butterfly Kisses Designer Series paper, so why not? I'm going to use 3 ink pads today. I have Crushed Curry, Parakeet Party, and Starry Sky. Let's start with Starry Sky, and we're going to stamp right here in the middle, and we're going to say, "You're my bestie," and we're going to stamp that right there across at an angle. And now we're going to come in with Crushed Curry. I'm going to have some grid paper underneath me just in case I accidentally go off the paper. But there are some great dots, and I mean, they're just fun. So we're going to add a little dots there. Let me set this off to the side, and I'm going to bring in that 1 7/8 by 2 1/8. Let's add a few dots down here, and again, yes, I did go off the edge. Remember, this is where we're going to be writing a message, but we're going to bring in some Parakeet Party, and we're going to say all the love, and stamp that again at an angle right there. Again, easy. Remember, this is a card, so you can write here. You can also write here, or you could choose one or the other. If you choose to make this just a focal image, then you're just going to cut it 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. And it's not going to be a card, but you can write your message here. And again, this piece could be left alone if you want your card here. So again, make it. Your creativity gets to come into play now. All right, let's put these together. We're going to add the basic white to the Calypso Coral. It's kind of a tight fit, but that's good. I have adhesive here. Let's make sure our paper is going in the right direction. My friends, that will just tuck perfectly right inside there. Make sure your card's going to close before you press it down. I did have you cut it about 1/8 of an inch less just to make sure that's going to fit. We're good there. We're going to finish this card up. Let me add my area to write my message here on the back. Remember, optional, but it definitely gives a nice burst of color. The last thing we're going to do is add our fabulous sentiment and our napkin fold. Can I tell you the easy way? Rather than trying to deal with that, I'm going to put my adhesive here on my Calypso coral again. I'm going a little bit heavy. Let me give this a fold so that I can see just what I'm doing. And we will simply add this to the center of our card. And when you're good, we are going to give that a press. I can write my message now. Oh, let's add a ribbon. I just thought this needed a little bit of ribbon. I'm going to bring in a mini glue dot, and I have a really pretty white organdy glittered ribbon. I don't know, glitter, butterflies. It's all just happy here. I'm going to press that bow onto a mini glue dot and just add it right here on the side of my card. It kind of left the tails long. But friends, look at this. A piece of art, so mantle worthy. Everyone's going to want to see that. But what's great is your message to them is still kind of hidden. So you don't need to worry too much about that because that is going to stand alone as a piece of art. And you know what I thought was so great about this fold and this stamp set? It's kind of an explosion, like, pow, you're my bestie. And so I just thought that was so much fun. Or, you know, it's almost like butterfly wings opening, right? Well, speaking of that, I'm going to show you my other card. And this is an Easter card, and I used the country gingham paper for this one. Again, card here on the inside. I just did a little coloring here with my Stampin' Blends. Now with this one, I used the daffodils, but do you think that paper kind of has the look of a daffodil opening? It does, doesn't it? It works so well. And this paper was so beautiful because balmy blue. Oh my goodness, I'll get it. Balmy blue. And that petal pink on the other side. Oh, just so pretty. For this one, it looks like I brought in some mint macaron and some so saffron. Added a little rose gold ribbon. There's the spot here on my back. Your stand is going to be created in exactly the same way. So whether you want to send some daffodil greetings, maybe for Easter, for Mother's Day. This one has a Mother's Day stamp that would be fantastic. What a fun card for mom. And of course, maybe just something fun for the grandkids, those teenagers, or, you know, I think my bestie would love that little card. So there we go. Standing up. They're just fantastic. I hope that you'll give these a try. And let me just remind you one more time. Little copy paper first before you start working with your designer series paper. I think you'll thank me when you give this a practice first. And after that, you're going to be a pro at napkin folding.
Thank you all so much for joining me today. If you like this video, would you give me a thumbs up on YouTube? I always appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you here on my channel. And if you have crafty friends, please share my channel with others. We share twice a week here, and the more the merrier, right? Thank you guys again for being here. Make it a great day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.